This is the post-practice discussion for week 2. So far, week 2 went really good. Got about 3/4 of the stuff I wanted to record. I still have some jazz tunes I want to still do. Some of you may be wondering, how does he get through everything? Well, the truth is, I don't. Actually, what I work on each day is either something that has the highest priority or something that's sounding really bad. So I'm not going to spend my time focusing on my lip flexibilities if my lips are just like feeling great that day and I can just nail anything, any flexibility it feels like. So that's not what this whole like summer practice session thing is about. It's not about practicing what sounds great. It's about what's sounding bad and making that always sound great so that I can get some kind of a consistency every single day. So I'll try and put up those jazz tunes sometime this week. It's not on my highest priority, I guess, to put those up because after all, the practicing is most important in these videos. Sorry if you really enjoy these videos, but I'm going to try and keep up on my practicing and try and fit in those videos when I can. So the rest day, that was something I put in, and so far this week it went pretty good. I woke up and my lips felt like winners, and so I went to record, and it was weird though because while my lips felt really good, I kept on missing a lot of notes, and I couldn't seem to get my tongue and my airstream in line. So I think the lips weren't the factor. I think it was more of my breathing and tongue not doing that kind of stuff for a day. So maybe what I'll do is I'll change that. It'll still be a rest day on Saturday, but maybe what I'll do instead is I'll do my warm-up in the morning, and then I'll do a warm-up in like the afternoon, and then a warm-up in the evening. I know it sounds kind of stupid to do 3 warm-ups, but I just want to do some exercises that aren't necessarily going to push my lips, but it's still going to keep them in a state that's recovering, I guess. So I guess I'll have to play around with that this coming week and see what I'm going to do. Well, the Arbenz characteristics study, overall I guess I'm feeling pretty happy about it. It was a proficient level in my opinion. It could have been better. It took a few times to record. What's hard about it is the length and also the tempo. So I had to do it at about a quarter note equals 80. I'm not sure if I did that on the recording. I know like my time fluctuated a lot on the recording, which is something I want to work on. But one thing is with that is if you slow it down more so you can get more notes right, since it's so long, you end up sacrificing something else, like you might sacrifice your lips. So by the time you get finally to the last A section, your lips will just be out. Also, I need to work on my breathing and phrasing on that. There were a couple areas I wasn't fully sure on where to put breath marks, and so what I did was I would cut notes short, or I would just like add in longer rests than what needed to be. So if I would redo that, I would probably maybe ask some kind of a classical trumpet major how they would interpret the breath marks and stuff like that, and where they would add in more, because the breath marks that Arben gives, that's not enough breath marks for me to get through unless I'm playing it at a really quick tempo. The transitions in it, especially from the A section to the B section, where we have the 16ths in the A section, and it starts with the septuplets after like a small rest that I took. That transition, there was no subdivision whatsoever in that, and that's one thing I need to work on because that just wasn't lining up right. Dynamics, also something that can be improved. Since I only have a week to work on this, dynamics wasn't necessarily my top priority as getting the right notes and having everything lined up with tempo. So once I get everything lined up with tempo, I'll focus on dynamics. I might actually revisit this piece because I really like it, and it's got a lot of great stuff. stuff. I think all the characteristic studies can pretty much be summed up in characteristic study number 1. So maybe I'll actually revisit it on week 15, and also I had planned as well for that D section at the end. I was almost going to kind of treat it like cadenza and just let time, just eliminate time completely, and then I had some, like, I guess runs that I had picked out where I'm going to accelerate and slow down and then hold a couple notes out. I actually thought it sounded pretty musical when I did it in the practice room. It was hard though because I had this run down to a low concert E, and it was all double tonguing, so I didn't want to take the chance of maybe getting that wrong on this video. I was just going more for accuracy. So maybe if I revisit this, I'll try and do that. The home run transcription, that actually went really well. I was kind of surprised at how quickly I was able to transcribe it and learn it. Literally, I felt like I had learned the thing in 3 days. And I was planning on maybe that taking 5 days. So that's good to know, because I know this week, for week 3, I'm going to have a transcription that's going to be about 1.5 minutes long. So that'll take up a lot more time, but I'll be able to pace myself better knowing how much time that might take. One problem I did have with the home run transcription was that my articulations were not always the same as what was done on the recording. I noticed a couple times on my recordings of that transcription, a couple takes that I had, I did have different articulations during each take, and there were takes that sounded more close to the recording, but I didn't really actually pay attention as much as I probably should have to the articulations on that. For the piano stuff from Phil DeGreg's book, it all went well. That's all chapter 1 stuff, so that was extremely easy. I guess the hardest thing about that was probably recording it and having the pressure of it being like a recording session kind of thing. So that'll get better. And also I'll be working on chapter 2 this week, so it'll be getting harder and less boring, I guess. One thing that I can improve on is I noticed with Shoes Blues, for some reason my fingers were really collapsing. I'll show you. So we have something more like, what we should have is like this, where you can almost put something right here. But what I was doing on some of it was I was just going like, and if you can kind of see right here, my fingers bent like this a little, and it should be more like that, rolled kind of, I guess, a little. So that's something for me to keep in mind when I'm practicing my chapter 2 stuff for next week, to make sure I have a correct position. And my Blues for the Birds, that did have a good position, so I guess I just need to make sure that I keep that in line. So thank you for tuning in for week 2, and I'll have my week 3 video up as soon as possible.